My vegetables, I have some carrot and broccoli, but it is incredible the amount of variety and the delicious recipes and meals that you can create from natural foods. Absolutely amazing. And let's be honest, meat, eggs, cheese, that stuff is not as flavorsome. It does not have as much flavor. What has the flavor is the additional stuff that we add, the salts, the sugars, the herbs, the spices, the seasonings. They're the things that have the real flavor. So even if you don't go any further down the list from here and do these things, taking this one step can instantly make a huge difference. Plant foods contain abundant basic or alkaline particles that combine with acidic particles when your body breaks them down, reducing our total urinary acid load and naturally creating alkaline balance in our body. If you have trouble consuming 7 to 9 serves a day, perhaps give the Juice Plus a go. If not, and you want to motivate yourself and take the action necessary to have 7 to 9 serves of veg a day, then trust me, you're going to notice a massive difference. Number 2, and this is a pretty big one for most people, maybe not for fitness professionals and people that are nutrition enthusiasts already, but reducing soda intake, reducing cool drink intake, or eliminating it altogether. A couple of things. First of all, anything that's carbonated will slow down absorption of food by up to 200%, which I guess simply, it's not this simple, but to simply put it, that spends twice the amount of time in your body to get stored as excess energy and not get used and turned into fat, essentially. It's not that simple, but basically put, that's essentially what happens. Okay, so even your carbonated, your Pepsis and your sugar-free ones and that, they're still full of a lot of crap. They're still full of preservatives, still full of different aspartame and so forth, and they're going to create a lot of acidity. Aside from its overwhelming amount of sugar, high fructose corn syrup, quite possibly the worst product for acidity on the planet. In fact, I found out recently, I was talking to Kaylee, my partner, and we were talking, and we're doing a bit of research on corn. Did you know that corn is the only vegetable, or the only thing that we grow on the planet and market, that if we stopped cropping it ourselves, it would no longer exist? Isn't that interesting? In fact, they create so much corn through cropping, they grow so much corn through farming in the United States that they have leftover, and they look for ways to preserve it and add it as a preservative to different foods. They come up with new things all the time. Very interesting. Aspartame or other chemicals with no nutritive value. Soda makes your urine too acidic to pass safely out of your body. It's high in phosphoric acid. Content requires your body to sacrifice a great deal of alkaline buffering salts, meaning the minerals in your bones. Salts are not bad. Table salt, yes. I'm going to talk a bit about salt shortly. Things like Himalayan rock salt and sea salt, perfect. You want to have salt, have those things, full of amazing trace minerals that we need. In fact, there's minerals found in Himalayan pink rock salt that you will not find in anything else on the planet. So it can excrete the acid without damaging your urinary tract. So how do we continue? All right, so number 3, replace refined carbohydrates with roots and gourds. So most grains are somewhat acid forming, particularly when they are ground, bleached, and otherwise refined. Bleached? What the hell? You mean we eat bleached foods? People just don't realize, and who really knows the truth behind how things are really processed? That's why I say go organic where you can. Root crops like sweet potatoes, yams, potatoes, parsnips, beets, carrots, squash, and potatoes are rich in minerals that will alkalize your blood. Plus, they're loaded with antioxidant vitamins. So many people say, don't have potato, it's full of carbs, can't have it after 8. I guarantee that if you're keeping yourself in an alkaline state, that's not really going to matter. It's not going to make you fat. I love this saying, I read it on Facebook the other day. Eating one bad meal won't make you fat, just like eating one healthy meal won't make you slim. So instead of eating pizza, pasta, pastry, rice, bread, substitute it with a dish made from root crops several days a week. We already know that leafy green vegetables and a large variety of different colors of veggies is important. 4, add fresh lemon and lime to your water. Though we typically think of citrus fruits as acidic, in fact, they're highly alkalizing in the body, especially limes. Help balance your acid load by squeezing a wedge of fresh lemon or lime into your water, your filtered water, throughout the day. For that matter, get into the habit of giving your food a squirt just before serving, all your salads and veggies, so forth. Lime is delicious on papaya, melon, salads, and Mexican and Asian dishes, and many other things as well. We go through a ton of lemons each week and limes. 5, consider cooking with sea vegetables or keep them raw. For some of you, I know this is out of the question, what do you mean keep them raw, sea vegetables? But if you're willing to try new ingredients, why not experiment with packaged sea vegetables available in the health food or Asian section at your supermarket? You can get those. Where possible, always buy fresh though, and make sure that make sure you check the processing. Make sure you check the processing, how they process as well. And I have a saying with alkalizing and energizing and with detoxification that when in doubt, give it the clout. If you're ever unsure, then give it the clout. Get rid of it. Drink 8 glasses of high mineral spring water or filtered water daily. So often our public drinking supply is processed and stripped of the minerals that water naturally picks up from the earth as it percolates through the ground. It's also doctored with substances like chlorine and fluoride, levels that many scientists feel are not healthy for teeth and bones. Natural mineral water contains varying dissolved minerals and trace elements that have emerged from their resources in the ground. These include calcium, magnesium, potassium, salts. So drinking mineral water is an easy way to replenish your alkaline reserves. If you don't want to spend all that money, Kaylee and I, we buy the filtered water jugs, and you can buy the replacement filters. They're pretty cheap and they don't cost that much to replace. And we actually create different waters, and we leave them in the fridge overnight. We've actually got different recipes and different names for them. Like we had one this morning, which is mint lemonade, where we had fresh mint and lemon and a few other things. My favourite one is sassy water. What I do is it's cucumber, lemon, and ginger. Absolutely delicious, amazing. It alkalizes the water. It's filtered, okay, and it helps with those minerals. 7, limit animal protein. Animal proteins are high in sulfur-containing amino acids and are particularly acid-producing as you metabolize them. Protein is absolutely required for your bones and just about every other body tissue, but you can limit your animal protein sources, your beef, your chicken, your pork, your eggs, and dairy products, to eat less per day and increase plant-based protein sources. Sprouted lentils is an example. There's so many available options now, like quinoa is another as well, that are high in protein. Now, I'm a massive meat eater, and I love meat, and I love this. I love the alkalizing and energizing. I love the cell nutrition. Me personally, like my partner Kaylee, she's vegetarian, and I pretty much cook raw or make raw vegan and cook vegetarian meals and just add a slab of meat to it, because meat, I could not go without meat. So I'm not saying don't have meat. In fact, you want a balance. You still want your acidic foods. There's nothing wrong with having some of 80 and 20, and you would have already seen that. 80% of your foods are alkaline promoting, and 20% can be slight acidic. And there's a chart in this as well, which you can look through in your own time if you want to. Add cinnamon, ginger, and other herbs and spices. We go through so many herbs and spices. Fresh herbs and spices from your market, your health food store, your organic store. Cinnamon is a wonderful alkalizing spice that you can add to just about anything. I love to put it in smoothies, different berry smoothies. It's great with sweet potatoes, apples, or sprinkled in hot tea. Ginger root is also another great alkalizer and detoxifier that spices up many dishes. Again, I'll put it in my water and I'll put it in most of my meals. I quite often will use turmeric and different things like that as well. Spices, fresh herbs. Get rid of all your table salt, all your sugars, get rid of all your sauces, get rid of all your seasonings. Use fresh herbs, fresh spices, fresh ingredients. Okay, a lot of those are full of nutrients that you just can't get anywhere else, and they're alkalizing as well. Monitor your urinary pH. For those of you that are curious, that want to go all the way with this, tracking your first morning urine pH after at least 6 hours minimum sleep is a simple and convenient way to know how your nutritional changes are affecting your body. When this number is between 6.5, slightly acidic, and 7.5, slightly alkaline, it suggests that your overall cellular pH is where it should be. Now, if you're watching this and it's a recording and you're doing the detox program at the moment, then this might be a great idea to check it at the beginning and then check it at the end to see how far you came with your pH levels. You can purchase. I'm going to go with tools. You can purchase the tools you're required to do this at most local chemists. Number 10, add to your diet a high-quality, nutrient-rich, raw, vegan, and gluten-free Juice Plus. Because when we travel, we have busy days, or we sleep in, or we're tired, we don't always prepare our food. We don't always do that. So by having the Juice Plus, which is raw, vegan, gluten-free, ALkalize promoting, I like to think of it as an addition rather than a supplement. By utilizing that, it's going to make it easier on those days to ensure that we are alkalizing, we're keeping in an alkaline state, and that we are consuming a sufficient amount of phytonutrients and micronutrients. So that brings us to the next step. So that's alkalizing, a bit about alkalizing and energizing and how it works and the benefits and how we can alkalize. And again, within an hour you can only go through so much. I'm actually going to be doing a live tour later this year where I'll be doing a full day presentation on this very topic. So what is detoxification? Well, simply put, it's a simple process that intentionally removes as many of the body's unwanted toxins as possible. Every day we breathe air and eat food that is full of free radicals and toxins, causing our body to go into an acidic state. opening a window to allow for sickness, illness, slow metabolism, slow speech apparently, bloatedness, and increased body fat. Not to mention the increased risk of cancer and heart disease, diabetes, and all those other issues. When the cells are hit with these toxins and free radicals, it literally kills off the electrons in the cells. And once the cell reaches a certain amount of electrons, the cell then dies. Once the cell dies, it is replaced by a weaker version of its former self. That's why we deteriorate. Everything deteriorates over time. Okay, with less of the receptor.